I was walking down the street today in Ipswich when I met up with my good friend here, Sir Meadery. And I asked him, where can I get something nice and cold to drink? He suggested 1634 Meadery. And I'm here today at 1634 Meadery to try some mead. I'll take this medicine. Isn't that the stuff of old novels and Shakespeare and Viking times?
At once historical and very in keeping with the New England aesthetic.
Join me as I try mead at 1634 Meadery. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Alika.
So this is where you make the mead.
Yep.
And what are you going to show us today?
We're going to show you how to make the mead, yeah. The basis for all mead is honey, of course. That's where the sugar source and the fermentation comes from. The honey we get here is from a local apiary up in Maine. It's clover honey. What we do is mix the honey into the water, and then we're going to throw in a yeast to start the process of fermentation. The yeast is going to consume the sugar in the honey and convert it into alcohol and CO2, and of course alcohol is what we really want.
That's what we really want, okay.
We use what's called a wine yeast. It's similar to a beer yeast, except it can ferment to a higher alcohol content. All of our meads are in the 12 to 18% alcohol range. So it's very important, especially when you're fermenting honey, to add some nutrients into the fermenter. And that's going to make a really happy environment for the yeast to ferment and do their job. And now we're going to mix it with warm water, and then we will pitch it into the honey. And that's going to start the process of the fermentation, which is the very exciting part, right? So by tomorrow morning, it will be fermenting aggressively.
And then what happens after that?
But then we're going to pump from here, and after the fermentation is done, and we're going to put it into the aging barrels you see in the back. So this is called a plate frame filter. First thing we do is pump it into a tank, and we hook it up to this guy. We put in a bunch of filter pads in here, squeeze it together, and force the mead through with a pump. So after filtering, the next thing we do is fill the mead. This is called a gravity bottle filling machine. It's going to fill up these bottles and hopefully stop when it gets to the top.
What is Max doing?
So Max is taking the bottles that we just spent or filled up with mead, and he's using a pneumatic corker to put the cork in. This device uses air pressure to push the cork into the bottle. So this is a fun one. This is our label. After we've corked all the bottles, we have stacks of mead ready to go, and we come over here and do it when time allows. Before we do the waxing of the bottles, what we do is we have a little tape that makes the bottles look attractive, and also is a pull tab so that people can remove the wax easier.
So show us the wax.
Each bottle is hand dipped, and that gives it kind of that old bottle feel. We have over 30 different colored waxes for each of our varieties of mead that we make.
It's not just for decoration. I'm kind of excited about this because these are like life hack things I didn't even know. That you actually pull off the wax that way, and it makes life much easier for you.
Another thing that makes mead fun is its versatility, like I mentioned, and you can also make sparkling mead or session style mead. We also have a sparkling mead raspberry lime, which we have on tap here, and also a peach vanilla.
I know I'm going to have good dreams tonight because I'm taking this home. Blueberry Dream.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that's a fruit mead made with local blueberries and wildflower honey.
What's your perspective?
Well, I like that it's local. I like that he sources all his ingredients locally.
Mead is a great drink. It's an alternative to beer and wine that a lot of people don't think about or consider.
I remember mead was never like a really known thing to me, but was pleasantly surprised to find that it's one of my favorite beverages now.
This feels at once historical and very in keeping with the New England aesthetic.
And I really like the fact that they have all these different flavors.
It's a lot of fun.
Tell us about the different types of mead we have here.
The first one you're going to try is called Devil's Footprint. This is a dry mead, meaning we fermented all the sugar out of the honey and made it dry, and it's a blackberry, raspberry, blueberry mead.
Yeah, I can taste the different fruits.
The next one is a spiced mead. This is one of our best sellers. It's called Viking Victory.
Oh, now it's spiced? I don't know. I like this medicine.
This is a spiced mead. It's made with a different type of honey. It's made with Japanese knotweed honey. Third one you're going to try is called Orangulation. This one is made with just honey.
That's good.
So it's called a traditional mead or a show mead. The fourth one in your lineup here is called Mother Clucker.
That's a funny name.
This is one that my wife named after me. Then the next one is a fun one. It's called Liberty, named in honor of Liberty Tea. And then our most popular summer mead is the last one you're going to try, which is called Strawberry. It's a combination of strawberry and rhubarb, so strawberry.
I gotta tell you, Dan, my favorite is definitely the plain one.
That's one of the things that made me really excited. You can make any flavor that you want, basically.
So what is the difference between mead and wine?
The sugar source for the fermentation is coming from honey, and it's been around for literally 10,000 years or more.
Cheers.
Or in the Viking world, as they say, skål.
Skål. Many thanks to Dan, Deb, and the whole team here at 1634 Meadery for teaching me about the history of mead and quenching my thirst at the same time. Well, that's my perspective. Hey, New England, what's your perspective? 1634 Meadery in Ipswich, Mass.